ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं भाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा धियं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। This year we have selected the 5th chapter of the Gītā. It is a chapter on renunciation. Lord Krishna teaches what is renunciation in this chapter. Although renunciation or samsara is the primary theme of the Bhagavad Gītā, and therefore in the entire Bhagavad Gītā, in fact, Lord Krishna unfolds this theme of sannyasa or renunciation. But let me say that the renunciation is not to be understood in a conventional sense of giving up everything that we are doing, leaving our family and everything else behind and walking away. That is one kind of renunciation. But basically the renunciation the Lord Krishna teaches is of the nature of knowledge, is the nature of maturity. What we call the spiritual maturity or emotional maturity. Renunciation is of the nature of self-growth. What is meant by self-growth is bringing to surface or bringing to manifestation my wholeness or completeness. Vedanta reveals this fundamental reality about ourselves and about everything else, that you are whole, you are complete. Meaning that inherently our nature is one of wholeness, completeness. This is what we are. What we feel about ourselves is quite contrary to what we are. We happen to be limitless. However, we feel that we are extremely limited. We happen to be whole or complete beings. However, we take ourselves to be incomplete, limited, inadequate. This human being is constantly suffering from a sense of inadequacy. I feel that I am not adequate. I am not all right. I am not able to measure up to my own expectation of myself. I always have some expectations of myself. And it is the nature of my mind to keep on judging my own self. And usually my judgment or my conclusion or my opinion about myself is that I am inadequate, I am incomplete, I am lacking, I am wanting, I am not all right. This is what every human being feels. And we constantly struggle to become adequate, to become all right in our own perception. Understand that what we are trying to do is to become all right, acceptable, satisfied in our own perception. Even though it appears that I am seeking the approval of the world, I am seeking some respect and recognition from you, from the world. That is what it looks like. But through the recognition from you, through the acceptance of you, really what I am seeking is my acceptance of my own self. So this feeling of inadequacy, of incompleteness, of lack, of being limited, of being dependent, this is what I am constantly suffering from. Whereas the reality about myself is quite contrary. If I was a limited being and I felt limited, it's understandable. If there is a piece of rope and I see it as rope, it's understandable. But if the rope is seen by me as a snake, then it creates all kinds of complications. And so also, when I happen to be limitless or a complete being, to see myself as a limited or incomplete is what is the basic problem in our life. Understand that what is the cause of our unhappiness or the cause of sorrow is nothing but my opinion about myself that I am inadequate, I am lacking, I am wanting, I am not good enough. Really, I don't have any great self-esteem about myself. I don't have a great respect about myself. I don't respect myself much. I don't accept it. Very often, I reject my own self. More often, in fact, I even condemn myself. Thus, a constant conflict is going on within myself with my own self. Therefore, what do we do? Swamiji, if, as you say, I am a whole and complete being, if I am limitless, then how do I feel limited? How come I feel limited? How come I feel inadequate? That is because there is something, what we call some obstacles, some inhibiting factors which seem to veil my completeness. They come in the way of experiencing my own self. Like the sun may be shining but the clouds come in the way of my appreciating or my perception of light of the sun. What we need to do is to remove those clouds. And so also the self. The sun of wholeness is shining all the time, but there are certain clouds, some obstacles, some inhibiting factors which come in the way and prevent me, depriving from the benefit of what I am. It is like a very precious treasure which I possess, but it is buried in the ground, and in order for me to be benefited from that, it is necessary that I should remove the obstacles and retrieve the treasure. And so also, in order for us to be benefited of the wholeness that we are, it is necessary to remove those obstacles or inhibiting factors. So what is meant by self-growth? Self-growth is the extent to which my wholeness or completeness is surfaced, becomes evident. And when will my sadhana, my pursuit, when will it come to a conclusion? When I see myself as a complete being, having no lack, having no want. When I see myself as that, I'll be completely satisfied with myself. My satisfaction about myself depends upon the extent to which my natural wholeness or completeness has become manifest. And when it becomes totally manifest that I am totally satisfied with myself, this is what we are seeking in our life. What we are seeking is complete satisfaction with ourselves. That's all we want. In the words of Pujya Swamiji, each one of us is seeking to be a pleased self. We are seeking to be just pleased with our own self. Our life is nothing but a constant attempt to discover that satisfaction with my own self. Unfortunately, the way we are doing it is not right. The way we are trying to become satisfied or happy with ourselves is by acquiring and achieving the worldly things, thinking that that is what will make me happy. Vedanta says no. Happiness has to be surfaced. Happiness is not to be created. Happiness is not to be acquired. Happiness is to be surfaced. Let me draw your attention to any simple experience of happiness. As when eating a piece of cake, eating ice cream, watching movie, listening to music, any pleasurable experience you have, watching sunshine, anything that you enjoy. So when you are experiencing something that you enjoy, you feel happy. At that time, you have to make a note whether the happiness comes from outside to inside, meaning that when you are watching your favorite TV show and enjoying it, do you feel that happiness is entering from there into here? Or do you find happiness is welling up from within myself? You understand the difference? When I'm enjoying something, do I feel that a happiness came from outside into myself? Or happiness rather evolved or surfaced or welled up from my own self? Our experience is that happiness always wells up from within. We never experience it coming from without, although our conclusion is it comes from there, but that's not our experience. Meaning that happiness or wholeness which is there alone has to become manifest. Today we are trying to accomplish that through the agency of these pleasurable objects, gratification of ego, gratification of senses, it is through that we are seeking to be complete, which is a wrong way of doing it. Because in that process, we are becoming more and more dependent upon things. The nature of the objects is such that slowly and slowly we become addicted to them, we become dependent upon them. You must have heard this saying, luxury comes as a guest, lingers on to become host, stays on to enslave us. Thus, all these external accomplishments come as guests, which is good. Linger on to become host, and then stay on to enslave us. In short, we find that in the process of acquiring happiness, our dependence is growing. We seem to be becoming more and more dependent upon things. Maybe 25 years ago, I needed 100 things to feel happy, and today maybe I need 300 things. Because as they say, what is meant by growth, today what is meant by development or progress is nothing but converting luxuries into necessities. What we are doing is converting luxuries into necessities. The cell phone was a luxury 10 years ago. Today, it has become a necessity. Today, I can't even imagine how can you do without cell phone. And so on and so forth. Even air conditioning in a car also was in luxury 25 years ago. Today, I don't see any car without an air conditioner. Nothing wrong in air conditioning. Nothing wrong in cell phone. Nothing wrong in any of those things, understand? What is important is, what relationship do I have with them? Is my relationship one of dependence? Is it that I cannot do without something? I become uncomfortable. There is no air conditioning, I just become, very uncomfortable. Looks like I cannot do without more and more things. And thus, I am delivering myself in the hands of those things. And my comfort and my happiness now depends upon more and more things. I am becoming more and more dependent. More and more controlled. It is now the air conditioner that decides whether I will be comfortable or not. In case it doesn't work, in case cell phone, Swami, cell phones on a certain highway, they don't work. I'm talking on the phone, it just gets cut off, I just get frustrated. There's no phone, there's no frustration. Now the phones are there, more and more frustrations are there. All I'm saying is how we are becoming dependent. How we are controlled by those things. Upanishad says, Tena tyaktena munjithaha. May you enjoy the things all right, but do not lose your independence. Do not lose your freedom. You should eat food, let not food eat you. Swami, food can never eat me, but it does. Because when some rasagulla is there, when some pakoras are there, then how many pakoras do I eat? It is not I who decides how many pakoras I eat. It's the pakora that keeps on tempting me. I keep on consuming one after the other. It's not I who is eating pakora really. Pakora is eating me. Because pakora decides how many I eat. I don't decide. So I have weakness for ice cream. Meaning that I cannot control myself. There are so many weaknesses where we cannot control. This is called bondage. This dependence. I cannot do without something. I am dependent. I am controlled. I'm controlled by the objects, situations, people, achievements, accomplishments. Though they control me, they decide whether I'll be happy or not. What Bhagavad Gītā teaches is how to become free from this. Bhagavad Gītā doesn't say that you become free from a cell phone, so don't have a cell phone. Even if you give up the cell phone and you keep on thinking about cell phone, it's as good as not given up anyway. Merely creating distance is not the solution. It is becoming free from the need or necessity that is the solution. What makes it so difficult for me to sit quietly? How difficult I find to sit for 10 minutes even without doing anything. Doing something I spend hours and hours. But if I am just to sit 10 minutes quietly without doing anything. You know the story of the simply sitting Swami. In one of these temples in South India, a temple of Lord Shiva, where afternoon Naivedya time, they were offering a quantity of rice as Naivedya, and rice was then distributed to the priests and other staff members of the temple, and one measure of rice was given to one Swami. This Swami would come in the morning, sit before the Lord doing nothing, and go away in the evening. And for that, he was given this prasad, one measure of rice. This was a tradition going on for a long time. Once upon a time, the administration changed, and a new administration of the temple came. And he was going through various accounts and various procedures. And he discovered that this Swami gets his one measure of rice. He asked the temple people, what does he do? Nothing. He doesn't do anything. Then why are you giving him this? So that's what they've been giving for so long. That's why we are continuing. Stop it. How can you give anything without doing nothing? So next day that Swami came. He did not get his bowl of rice. Second day also he did not get. Poor Swami used to go hungry. Then third day he went to the office and inquired, so what's the matter? How come since last 2 days I'm not getting my usual prasad? So sorry Swamiji, this new administrator has come. He says that he is doing nothing. So why you should not get anything because you don't do anything? Says, well, let us invite the administrator. I invite him to sit with me and let him not do anything. So when those people told him that this is what the Swami says, oh yeah, I'll sit with him, I'll not do anything. What's the big deal about that? So then, next morning Swami came, seated there, simply doing nothing. And this fellow also sat there. After half a minute or so, he started counting how many rafters are there. He says, stop it, just don't do anything. He after half a minute, started looking around, counting how many devotees have come. Don't worry, just stop it, don't do anything. Little while then he started writing something, some doodles. Stop it. Just close your eyes and sit quietly. In 2 minutes this man got up. He realized that he just could not sit quietly. He went to the office and said, from today, give him 2 bowls of rice. We find it so difficult not to do anything. Really, it's not easy. We think renunciation is so easy, so we give up everything. It is not easy to give up everything. It is not easy not to do something. Because our mind is so restless that it does not let us sit even for a minute. The mind will find some excuse or the other and make me get up or do something. That shows how uncomfortable we are with our own self. In order for us to be comfortable, we need to engage our mind in some activity or the other. We cannot remain with ourselves because we are not comfortable with ourselves. This discomfort with my own self shows that I am not happy with myself. So what is freedom? Freedom does not mean not doing anything. Freedom is the capacity to be able not to do anything. Capacity to do what you want and not what the mind wants. Today it's the mind that decides what I do and not what I decide. I tell my mind, repeat Ram, 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 and mind repeats something else. Mind has its own agenda. Mind does not follow my agenda, it has its own agenda. So what is meant by self-growth is developing a comfort with my own self, a peace with myself. Right now, I am not at peace with myself. There is a constant conflict going on with my own self. If you take some time and observe the thoughts which are going on in the mind, just observe them. What they call mental chattering. This is what they call mental chattering. If you observe, you will find what all is going on in the mind. And many of these thoughts, usually it is some way or the other disliking my own self. Either a sense of regret or sense of guilt. Why did I do what I should not have done? Or sense of hurt. Why somebody did this to me? That's all that is going on in the mind. Poor mind is very unhappy. What is meant by self is just being happy. How do we become happy? When we discover a comfort with our own self. So sannyasa, renunciation doesn't have much to do with outside world. It has to do with my own self. Then as a matter of convenience, at some point in time, you may find that you wish to give up all your duties and activities and want to lead a totally contemplative life, and when you discover a comfort in contemplation, when you can enjoy the process of contemplation, when now you don't have any more need to keep yourself busy doing something or the other, then you have freedom to give up the activity. That's your choice. You have freedom to do, you have freedom to give up the activity so that you can devote yourself to a life of contemplation. This is the theme of the 5th chapter. And in fact, this is what Lord Krishna has taught until the 4th chapter, 4 chapters also. So now Arjuna at this point, Arjuna realizes that for my spiritual progress, that Arjuna is very clear that what I want in my life is to bring to surface my wholeness, abiding in my completeness, abiding in my wholeness. That is called moksha. That's what every human being is seeking. Arjuna knows that's what I want. And for that, I must have the knowledge of the self. For the knowledge of self, I should live a contemplative life. For gaining the knowledge, we should listen to the scriptures like Bhagavad Gītā. That's called Shravanam, listening to the scripture from the lips of the teacher. Then you reflect upon what you listen, that's called Mananam. You meditate upon them, called Nididhyasanam. Shravanam, Manam, Nididhyasanam. A life of contemplation. For gaining and assimilating the knowledge of the self. So now Arjuna has two choices. Either to perform his duty or to give up the duty and lead a life of contemplation, life of the full-time pursuit of knowledge. For pursuing knowledge also, it is necessary that you should be free from all other agenda or all the preoccupations. Therefore, in the Vedic culture, there is a tradition of what we call sannyasa or renunciation, where a person renounces all his duties, goes to the teacher, lives with the teacher, and dedicates himself or herself totally to the pursuit of knowledge. This is called sannyasa, karma sannyasa. Other is living the life of activity, life of karma yoga. Now Arjuna has this question before him. For pursuing knowledge or moksha, should I perform my duty in the spirit of karma yoga, or do I have the freedom to renounce all my duties, become a renunciate, go to the forest, live with the teacher, and pursue the knowledge full time? What should I do? With that background, we will continue to discuss this, but let us read the first verse of the fifth chapter. The first verse that we have selected here is on the page 15 of this book. I will chant one line at a time or quarter, and you please repeat after me. Arjuna uvacha sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. Hey Krishna. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna. Hey Krishna. Krishna, of course, is Lord Krishna. Word Krishna also means the one who removes all the sorrow, all the sins, and all the sorrow from the hearts of his devotees. O Lord, the remover of sorrow, the remover of ignorance, the remover of all my sins. Karmanam sannyasam shamsasi. You praise the renunciation of actions. Punaha yogam cha shamsasi. And you also praise karma yoga. So Lord Krishna has been talking about renunciation as well as karma yoga. Yat shreyaha etayoho ekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. Tell me definitely which one of these two is better for me. So Arjuna is asking as an aspirant, as a spiritual seeker, as a seeker of knowledge, Lord, what is best for me? Should I perform the duty which is before me of fighting this battle in the spirit of karma yoga? Or can I renounce this duty of fighting the battle and instead go to forest and become a sannyasi, and I lead life of contemplation and pursue the knowledge full time? Which of the two I should choose? You please decide for me and tell me which is the best for me. See, this is a very interesting, very beautiful question. If you look at the background of Gītā, how it started, in the beginning, Arjuna said to Lord Krishna, "O Lord, I will not fight this battle." That time, Arjuna was clear, he did not want to fight the battle. In the opening of 3rd chapter, Arjuna asks, "O Lord, if knowledge is better than action, why are you asking me to perform this action?" Now Arjuna has come to a point where he is willing to do whatever is required to be done. Now he no more says, "I will not fight." Now he says, "Lord, please tell me what is best for me. To perform the duty in the spirit of karma yoga, or can I renounce this action, go away from here, become a sannyasi and pursue the knowledge, lead the life of contemplation and pursue the knowledge. What, in your opinion, should I do?" Let us see what Lord Krishna has to say. The next verse is, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyasakaravubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasad Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Lord Krishna says, Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Ubhau Nishreyasa Karo. Here Arjuna, both are fine. Karma Yoga as well as Sannyasa, both of them can become the means of moksha. Meaning that a seeker has choice whether to continue to perform the action or renounce the action. But then says, Tayostu, however, of the two, Karma Sannyasad Karma Yoga Vishishyate. Here Arjuna, in my opinion, rather than renouncing the duties, renouncing the action, in my opinion, performance of action is better. See, Lord Krishna's prescription of sannyasa is performance of action. Lord Krishna teaches the sannyasa of 3 levels. First level of sannyasa is performance of action in the right spirit. Then comes the second level of sannyasa of renunciation of action. And third level of sannyasa is renunciation of ignorance. Renunciation of even the sense of doership. That's the ultimate sannyasa that Lord Krishna wants to teach, which in Vedanta is called Vidvat sannyasa. The sannyasa or renunciation characterized by wisdom. What is the wisdom? Where I discover the fact that I am a whole and complete being. I become completely free from need to do anything. I may do whatever I want to do, but I become completely free from need to do anything. I become free from the sense of doership. We'll discuss that. What is the first level of sannyasa? Lord Krishna says, rather than renunciation of action, I think that performance of action is better. For Arjuna, meaning for most people, Lord Krishna says, there may be some few who may be ready to renounce like that sadhu. The Swami calls him the simply sitting Swami. We just told so it is simply sitting Swami. If we have acquired a frame of mind when we can simply sit and not do anything, then you know that you are ready for sannyasa in terms of renouncing all your duties. But as long as I cannot do that, I cannot simply sit. I cannot tolerate myself. I cannot accept myself. I am not comfortable with myself. So long, Lord Krishna says that it's better that you continue to perform action. So understand that performance of our duties or performance of our day-to-day activities, action means any duty that I have to perform. Whatever station of life I am in. If you are a householder, fine. If you are retired, fine. If you are a student, whatever you are. Whatever duties you are required to perform them in the spirit of yoga. Lord Krishna says that is superior or better at any rate. So rather than renouncing the action, it is better that you perform the action in the spirit of karma yoga. So first level of sannyasa is performing our duties in the spirit of karma yoga. Then will come the second level of sannyasa, of renouncing the duties. Then will come the third level of sannyasa, of becoming free from ignorance. But the first level is, other two levels are possible provided we have gone to the first level, namely performing our duties in the spirit of karma yoga. Why does Lord Krishna think that karma yoga is better than karma sannyasa? Let us read the third verse. Gneyasya nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshate nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Gneha sah nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshate. The person who neither hates nor longs for anything should be known as always a renunciate. Even though a person is performing, see, in the Vedic culture, traditionally, who is the renunciate? Renunciate is the person who is no more performing any duties, who has no more any responsibility. That's called a sannyasi, like myself. It's called a traditional renunciate. One who has no duties and no responsibilities. How would you like that? No duties and no responsibilities. At the same time, no claim also. No duties and no claim. No claim meaning that the sannyas says no claim or no demand upon anybody. That the world should do something for me. There is no such demand, no such claim. He has no responsibility towards the world. At the same time, he does not make any claim from the world also. That second part is important. You think Swamis are good, they have nothing to do, Swamiji, that's all. You come and talk and go away and that's But our people are very kind. But that they take care of the Swami. Otherwise, in the olden days, Swami had to go out and beg food in bhiksha. Sannyasi used to go for bhiksha. And you stand in front of a house, announce yourself, Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi. Oh mother, please give me bhiksha. Or he says Narayan Hari. He announces Narayan Hari. Means somebody knows that here is a sannyasi who has come for bhiksha. You may get different kinds of responses. Somebody may say, here is Swamiji bhiksha. Somebody may come out and say, what is this? You seem to be healthier than me. Why don't you go and work? हट्टे कट्टे हो क्यों काम नहीं करते? And whatever they give, that's what you get. You cannot say that I want chapati and I want this and nothing. Whatever is there, they give you. It is not that you go to, if you decide that today I will only have a certain dish and I will go to bhiksha, n number of houses. No, you cannot go to n number of houses. You go to only x number of 5 houses, that's all. Whatever you get, it's fine. You may not get, or whatever they cook, you get. Sannyasi means no possessions, no property, no security. he has delivered himself in the hands of destiny. Whatever destiny does for him, whatever God does for him, that is what he has delivered himself. If God gives him food, well and good. Gives him shelter, okay. Does not give him, all right. He cannot say, how come I did not get something today? No claim. So that's another part, We always think that sannyasa means giving up duties, but then what is taking also is important. Really, the purpose of sannyasa is this. That now he has taken a greater responsibility. Now he is leading a life of contemplation. Meaning that he is now dwelling upon, thinking and dwelling, deliberating upon what's the nature of Ishvara, what's the nature of self. So this is what he is thinking about. Now who is the Prime Minister? What did they do? What's this policy? What? That's not the deliberation now. Who came? Who went? No such problem. Now his mind is engaged in who is the creator? Is there an Ishvara? What's the nature of Ishvara? What's the nature of myself? What am I seeking in my life? What's the goal of life? What's the purpose of life? These are the questions he dwells upon with the help of the teacher. He exposes himself to the teaching, and where these are the questions that are deliberated upon. Meaning that he has dedicated himself to the pursuit of this knowledge of reality. And that's all that he does. Now there are no more cinemas, no more TV, no more cell phones, no more nothing, no more pizza, no more restaurant. That also is a part of it. Meaning that, see, somebody is asking you, how come you shave your head? This hair represents so many attachments. So one who has become free from attachments, one who has become free from need of seeking any material pleasure, you discover a freedom. Understand that merely by giving up something, you don't become free. Like a child who is very fond of playing and playing with marbles, let us say. Whole day is doing that. Examination is coming and mother now says, no more playing marbles. Stay home and read. Study. This poor child has to stay home and study. And his mother is watching from behind. My child is studying. The book is in front of him. He is studying. What he is doing is, his book is here. That's what he keeps on doing, because he is missing that. He hears how his friends are playing in the street and enjoying themselves, and he is deprived. So he has a sense of loss, sense of deprivation. So even though outwardly he is not playing his marbles, inwardly he is only thinking about marbles. So merely by creating distance, merely by giving up something, we do not become free. The freedom is when I am free from its need, when I am free from the attachment or free from the need to play the marbles. When can I become free from the need? When do I not have to play marble? When do I become free from need to go to movies or need for entertainment, need to entertain myself, need for all these pleasurable objects? Even free from need of being respected, need for success, need for name, fame, when you become free from all those needs, when will that happen? Only when one has discovered an inner comfort and inner satisfaction, then alone all those needs will go. Understand that it is not that just because we give up things that we become free from them. In fact, we should become free from the need. Have you heard the story of? You must have heard the story of a king who was a very good person. and very successful person also. And still, he knew that there was something lacking in his life. And therefore, whenever any Mahatmas or Sannyasis, whenever they would come to his kingdom, he would rush to them and sit at their feet and want to learn from them. But still he had not been satisfied with anybody. Once upon a time, he heard that a great Mahatma has come at the outskirts of this kingdom. The king went all the way there, prostrated before the Mahatma and said that I would like to, please teach me, please give me the wisdom so that I can gain the knowledge, I can become free. So Mahatma says, okay, but one condition is there. Let us exchange. You give me the kingdom and you become my disciple. The king thought for a moment, but he was so keen on gaining knowledge, so okay, you become the king. Then that Mahatma, the sannyasi came, he became the king, and he took everything under his control. And from next day, he found that, he was wearing all expensive clothes and expensive garments and ornaments and all luxuries, and he just deeply got embedded, into all this luxurious living. The king was surprised. I thought this was a sannyasi. He was a renunciate. And then look at the way he's behaving. Look at the way he's conducting himself. But that sannyasi had made a condition. You should not question anything that I do. Moment you question, I'll walk away. So king refrained from any questioning. Although every evening the king will have the lesson with the Mahatma. He would give him lesson, he would give him teaching of the scriptures, which was wonderful. At that time king thought that he is a different person. So in the evening when he had his lessons, king found that, here is really wonderful, a wise person, a great Mahatma. But then the moment that is over, then that Mahatma acted like any ordinary person. He was enjoying more luxury than the king was enjoying earlier. So what is this? And this king's ministers and advisors, what are you doing, sir? This is not a Swami, this is not a Mahatma, that's not his way to behave. He started criticizing him. And a time came where king could not contain any more. He said, sir, I can't accept this. I thought you were a renunciate. And here you're living a life of bhoga instead of yoga. Living life of pleasures. This does not behave a sannyasi. How can you teach me? How can I have trust in you? How can you teach me? So that Mahatma said, okay, our condition was, moment you question, I'll walk out. Says, you are a good person. You have not been faithful to your word, and therefore I will walk out. How I know that you are a good person, you have good intention, therefore I want to give you a parting gift. Says, what is that? But that gift I'll give you after 2 weeks. You come with me. The king was obedient, it's okay. So Mahatma walked away from the palace, and king also joined him. It took them 2 weeks. By the time they came to the borders of this kingdom, and Mahatma started continued walk, king stopped there. I cannot come further. Says, no, this is not my kingdom. I'm afraid that somebody will arrest me. And now I have so much to do in my kingdom. I cannot accompany you. I have to go back. He says, okay, go back. The Mahatma removed all his clothes, everything. Says, here it is. And walked away. But sir, you're going to give me some lessons. Farting, this is the lesson. Is that even when you thought that I was enjoying all the luxuries, I had no attachment whatever, no involvement whatever. And therefore, I can equally walk away, leaving everything there with no concern at all. I'm not suggesting that we should do this, but idea is that what is meant by renunciation is a complete freedom from any need. And how is the need? How is the freedom? Because one has discovered that completeness within one's own self. As Bhagavad Gītā says, Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha, one who is satisfied with himself by himself. Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vikataspruhaha. In unpleasant situation, he is not perturbed. In pleasant situation, he doesn't want to hang on to anything. That inner freedom is what is meant by sannyasa. And understand that each one of us wants that freedom. It is not that we are not concerned about this. This is a description of a person that we want to be. Each one of us wants freedom. Not knowing what that freedom is or how to get that freedom, we are doing all kinds of things in our life, achieving, acquiring, possessing, enjoying. All of this is in attempt to get that freedom. We do not realize that in the process of getting freedom, we are becoming more and more entangled. So freedom is subjective. Freedom is an inner thing. Freedom is the disposition of mind, where one is totally free from all pressures. There is no pressure at all. After 9 o'clock, suppose we continue, we stretch this class, 9:05, 9:10, 9:12, 9:13, 9:15, everybody will start looking, Slowly people will start walking, Swamiji, you can keep talking, we have other things to do. In these 4 days also, Swamiji, and then I can come on Wednesday, I can come on Monday, but Tuesday this baby shower is coming. Wednesday this friend is coming from New York. Thursday I have to go to this party. I can come one evening. Even 4 days in a... See, we have so many things. We are engaged. We are occupied. Not there is any right or wrong with occupation. What I am saying is that we are so tied up. This is called being tied up. There are pressures. I do not have freedom even to do what I want to do. Even if you want to come here for 4 years, you cannot because there are so many... Swamiji, but what will my friend think? What will they do? If I don't go there, they will not come to my home. If I don't... All these kind of calculations are going on. What I am saying, so much pressures are there. We are always pressurized to do something or pressurized not to do something. We don't have freedom. Freedom is freedom from pressure. Freedom does not mean you don't do something. You are free to do, free not to. There is no pressure at all. No external pressure, no internal pressure. That is called total, then you have the total freedom. We want that freedom. That freedom can come by internal growth, by living a life of yoga. The Lord Krishna says that, hey Arjuna, I do not think that you are ready to give up the action. In my opinion, it is necessary that you should live life of yoga, life of karma yoga, which is what we call the life of self-growth. When you become free from the pressures. What are the pressures? Lord Krishna said, Yo nadveshtina kangshate. One who neither hates nor longs for anything. Two kinds of pressures are there. One, I cannot do without something. And second, I cannot stand something. Two things. Either I cannot do without something, I must have it, or I cannot stand this, Swamiji, I cannot have, I cannot tolerate it. Attachment and aversion. I want to hang on to things. Things want to go away, I want to hang on to them. Other things want to come, I don't want them to come. So my life is constantly this process. Either attachment, hang on to something, not let it go. Aversion, not not allow it to come. These are the pressures, attachment and aversion, likes and dislikes. Freedom from this pressure. Yo na dveshtana kankshati. One has become free from these pressures of attachment and aversion, likes and dislikes. Hatred on one hand or attachment on the other hand. Gniya sinitya sannyasi, understand Arjuna, he is a first level of sannyasi. When you nirdvando hi mahabaho, O mighty I am Arjuna, when you become nirdvandva, become free from these pairs of opposites, sukham bandhat pramochate, very easily you become liberated, very easily you gain the ultimate freedom. We'll stop our discussion tonight at this point before you yourself look at the clocks and start walking away. Because Swami has nothing to do, but then you have lots of things to do. So we'll not hold you up any further tonight. And we'll develop upon this theme tomorrow. This is a very important and beautiful verse. So we'll discuss it further and then take our discussion from then on. We'll conclude with a prayer. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.